Good morning. Good morning, White Sand. So, we're just waiting for for a few folks to join us here. Good morning, CK. White Sand, CK, where are you guys based? CK, look for. I'm not sure. This is CK. Is this your first session? Okay, California, White Sand. Okay. I'm also from California. Early for you. All right. So we're just waiting for folks to join us here. I'm a bit early here, bottom of the hour. We'll give folks here a chance to join, and then we'll get started here in a couple minutes. Yeah. So while we wait, I think it would be interesting if you are new to the room, greet yourself or let me know. Always interested to see. Uh, Yes, White Sand, but it's all for the love, right? All for the love of the opportunities that futures present, correct? So, all right, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm just going to start off. Um, hey, Squeeze. Hey, Squeeze. Bonjour, Squeeze. Where are you from, Squeeze? Reading Tiger. Where are you from? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, some of these names. I'm not. I know you guys regularly attend, but Paris. Okay, excellent. So it's not too late for you, right? Sometime in the afternoon, I guess. Edmonton. All right, Reading Tiger. Excellent. Edmonton might be a bit early. 2:30. Yeah, that's a good time. It's a good time to be in front of the monitor. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started here. It is a couple of minutes past the bottom of the hour here. Morning, Cepedia. I think Cepedia, if I'm not mistaken, you're somewhere in Texas, not correct? We're just kind of commiserating over the fact of how early everyone is having to wake up here uh, to participate in this session. Oh, you're in New York. I thought you were from Texas. My bad. Maybe it's the nickname that's kind of throw me off here. Okay. All right. In any case, guys, I do have the risk disclosure up. Just again to kind of remind everyone that the market trader, Ray, the market trader, is not here in any sort of investment advisory capacity. I'm here to provide basically the information contained herein is not intended as investment advice. Okay, offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, instrument, or fund. We do all understand that future trading carries a fair amount of risk, and that we should only be using risk capital that we can otherwise afford to lose and not compromise our financial security or lifestyle. Should be used. All right. And again, I'm not here to as an investment capacity, investment advisory kind of capacity. All right. Again, nothing herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. Hey, good morning, Larry. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the news. We start the market with a review of the news, see what kind of news events could take place that could affect us in some way when reviewing the markets here. So for those crude oil traders, including myself, we do have the inventory report coming out here today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We have some note yield news coming out at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then I guess the granddaddy of all, okay, everybody is kind of watching, and I guess probably has could potentially have a significant impact here on the equity market, and that is the Nvidia. Thankfully, this will probably come in after the market. All right, so we don't necessarily need to. Maybe it won't necessarily impact us for the today's session, but could have a ripple effect for future sessions to come. All right. Okay. So and then not to overlook the fact that we have the 10 a.m. Option expiration that have potential exposure to futures that could cause the market to change direction or move a little bit as well at daily, right? So we have the option expiration, European option expiration that happens at 10 a.m. that could potentially impact some of the future markets we track here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Black screen. All right. Let's do this again and see. All right. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern time is the time. So hopefully you guys can see my charts. I was kind of taking a review. I'll look and I'll peek and look, see in the on the gold market as I was preparing for the session today. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Okay, excellent. All right. So just want to make sure. Now, guys, before I move into this is kind of my, I guess, my marketing sales plug here. Encourage you guys, if the content I'm providing on a daily basis does support your analysis, does support your trading, I encourage you guys to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and more importantly, if you could put a comment or two, kind of indicating that's also supportive of the channel here. Okay. Yeah. So squeeze, the Nvidia results will take place here after the market. So I believe at 4:20 Eastern time. Squeeze. Okay. 4:20 Eastern time, which is probably late night for you, right? Sometime, I guess Paris, I think probably somewhere at between 10 and 11 p.m. I think Paris time. Okay, I think is kind of the time that we'll have the reports. Okay, all right. Let's see. Excellent, DCAT. I'm happy to see that. DCAT, these are the kind of comments that I need to see, as these recordings get posted, because I think that will definitely resonate with others and continue to grow the channel here. Okay. Yes, probably most likely, Squeeze, you're probably sleeping at the time of NVIDIA report, right? But nonetheless, okay. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. I think I did get White Sand confirming. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into the markets here, guys, and see what we can glean, understand from the markets here. And as we start with every session, guys, we always start with the daily. And of late, would have to say that the market is for gold has kind of changed here a little bit. All right, we are our march to the upside has in some cases slowed to a little bit of a crawl. Okay, especially if we're looking more to the upside, right? So looking at the daily, we can see that we've been somewhat in in range, okay, in the market here of late. All right, we've been in a ranging market of late, and so the market, while it still is maintained its kind of bullish posture, we've had two, I would say two, one certainly strong bearish candle to the downside, followed by another candle that's currently developing to the downside. Okay, so it feels like the market to the upside is slowing a bit. Okay, feels a little bit heavy, and I think if we looked at this and this candle does indeed close in its current form, that we can even argue that maybe there's a little bit of a double top that is forming here in this market. Okay, right? So double top looks like is certainly in play here. Okay, so market again feels like it's heavy, it's in range, and potentially looking to head lower. All right, on the daily. Looking at the 4-hour chart. All right, so 4-hour chart. Kind of looking at this here a little bit. So for our chart, we can start to see that we've broken some structure here to the downside, which is evident in the series of candles that we were seeing. This double top that I had mentioned on the daily is far more evident. Okay, far more evident here on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so right now it feels like there's really nothing in the way of this market heading down to the bottom of this range at 25.19, at maybe down to this prior settlement price. That's what it feels like to me. Okay, I don't see anything in its way. I think there is an opportunity for price to continue lower down to this range before we see anything in the way of a bounce back in the other direction. All right. So yes, 4-hour chart indicates to me that the market is kind of turned a bit bearish here. Okay. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. So 30-minute chart, we're again below the daily VWAP. I don't necessarily think I need to make this as strong as it needs to be here. So let's change the style here, because I do see a very heavy bar here. So we're going to make this a little bit right. So here we are. So we're below the daily VWAP. We are below settlement price, and you can see that the volume has been consistent with the move that we've been seeing, right? A lot of selling pressure at the moment in this market. Okay, you can see volume delta reporting a lot of sellers. Now we're starting to see potentially some buyers stepping into this market here. Okay, with the wick, although it has not caused the volume delta bar to report green. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here, and we're going to go ahead and modify or actually add our volume profile. And I'm going to go ahead and locate the start of the session here and drag that to the close of yesterday's session. And here's our volume profile. Okay, so you can see again, I use volume profile from the prior session as kind of a sentiment indication. Okay, we see that price is indeed below value, indicating that we do have a fair number of sellers in the market on the short side. Okay, so yeah, so let's go ahead and open up our ADR. Okay, so ADR has exceeded to the downside. ASR is also right at a level that potentially we could potentially see a reversal. Let's go ahead and turn this off for now, and we're going to go ahead and begin to add our levels here, guys. So ADR high here is coming in at 25.75. Okay. Our ADR low is coming in at what is that? let's see, 25.44, 40. Okay. And then our value area high is coming in at 25.61.50. 25.61. So I'm going to change the order here. Is our value area high. Okay. Let's see. We have, let's see here. I'm going to modify this a little bit, guys. Okay. And then we have our average daily range low. We're just kind of establishing our levels, guys, here, so that we know exactly kind of the levels that we'll be looking at here. Okay. Just kind of getting myself, this is average daily range low. All right. Kind of move this over here. All right. And then we have our point of control on the upper end of value here. So that's coming in at 25.60. Okay. Our point of control, 25.60 is our point of control. Okay. And then we have our value area low. Value area low coming in at, actually, you know what? We have settlement price in between. So settlement coming in at 25.52.90 is our settlement price. All right. And then we have value area low, which is coming in at right around 25.47.90. 25.47.90 is our value area low. Okay, and then let's see, we got average daily range low. The only thing that's really missing here is the average session range. Okay, so we have an average session range coming in at 25.28, which is starting to give us a little bit of a reaction here. 25.28.80 is on the low side, and then is our average session range low. And then let's see here. Average session range high is coming in at 25.57, which is just below this level. 25.57.50 is our average session range high. Okay. So I think the only thing that's missing is really kind of our supply zones on the 4-hour. I like to keep track of my supply and demand zones on my 4-hour chart. So we'll see if we can capture those here. So it appears that we have some sort of supply at 25.61.20. Okay. So 25.61. So the supply zone in this case, you can see that we've gotten a bearish bar, and price has not been able to kind of close inside it since. So this level here, 25.61 seems to be an area of resistance or 4-hour supply. Okay. All right. And then demand, looks like we may have some demand around 25. I said maybe a little bit lower. No, 20, about let's call it 25, 20, yeah, 20.8. Okay, is our 4-hour demand. Okay, 4-hour demand, 25.20 is our 4-hour demand. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at from a reference level here, guys. Okay, so let's take a look and see what hypos we can come up with for this market. All right. So right now, I would say that barring the current location, right, the current location is probably not super beneficial for a short, because we're coming in on the ASR low. The ASR low could cause price to rally a bit. Okay, rally at least, I would say, back to the daily VWAP, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP, and I'm going to use the I guess the close of the market yesterday, okay, to arrive at that, right? So actually it's the same line. So this is really not giving me all that much information that's different than the daily, but we'll leave it there, okay? But because the anchor VWAP is coming in on the same time frame. The pivot happened on the same time frame the daily VWAP is starting. Okay, so we're starting to see here. You see some buyers are kind of stepping into this market here. You can see this based on the volume delta, right? There's a certain that the orders are starting to exceed some of the sellers, and we're starting to reflect that in the price chart a bit. Okay. Market still remains bearish. I would say that there's a fair number of bearish folks holding, all right, people holding shorts in this market, right? So I could easily see price rally back, right, to an area of prior resistance before we see any sort of a continuation move to the downside. That's kind of what I'm looking at, kind of following a little bit of the symmetry that we've been seeing in this market of late. Okay, so that's kind of so I would say that the market is bearish, but we need to find a solid bearish location to participate bearish. Okay. If we start to exceed some structure here, if we start to get above um, this anchored and daily VWAP, and we start to get back inside value, then my view on the market could change a little bit. Okay, we could be moving from a bearish market to a bullish one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance here if I can locate it here. So initial balance. All right, so initial balance is relatively narrow. All right, so narrow range, I would say offers. I mean, it's still very much early. It's only about 20 minutes into the session here. But if this range offers a very narrow range, there's our initial balance offers me something as far as a reference level to support it, in whatever direction that the market ends up deciding to break initial balance. Okay, if it breaks initial balance to the upside, I don't have to take all that much. I mean, in a risk, right? For a potential upside trade that could take me back up to anchored VWAP and has the potential of taking us back up to settlement price, because settlement price often acts as a target to price. Okay, so those are the couple of things that I'm seeing in the gold market. We're starting to see again the volume delta kind of beginning to give us a signal that the market could be moving to the upside. We're starting to see some buyers kind of gain a bit of a foothold into this market, but we are still very much in bearish structure of late. Okay, now if we start to again, one of the things that I use often is again, we'll go ahead and draw it. Okay, I like drawing my channels, right? If we do start to get a break and close above this channel, then that could potentially open the door. I said it would be an early indication that price could at least rally back up to VWAP, maybe back up to value area low. Okay, so let's make sure that I have these levels captured. I don't recall capturing these in my spreadsheet. So earlier, I don't think I may have overlooked to do that. So I'm going to double confirm my suspicion. Okay, and I think I may have overlooked that earlier. Okay. Yeah, sure enough, I did. Okay. So let's go ahead and add these to these levels. Let's go ahead and put this in bold. Okay, all of it. Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market, guys. I think right now I would say I may be more inclined to wait for price to come back to this 25.40 level, maybe for an opportunity for me to participate in a continuation move to the downside. Okay. If price does not give me kind of the reversal indication, then I'm going to be probably a little bit patient here and wait for price to get above VWAP before I would I guess seriously entertain longs. And the reason I'm saying that is based on the higher time frame, right? We have a candle that is forming quite bearish, right? We have a very bearish candle that's currently being forming in this market, right? So that's kind of what's causing me to maybe, err a little bit more on the side of the shorts, right? These kind of series of candles, specifically this one. We see the volume delta is still a lot of sellers in this market here. Okay, all right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Kind of coming back to my view here. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. Value area does not match with yours. Can you quickly hover? Yeah. So again, when I use the value area tool, not 3 hours. Okay. I'm looking at the open and close of the prior session. Okay. I'm assuming that we're looking at the same contracts, right? We're both looking at the Z contracts, okay? So we're going to go ahead again. This is kind of how I'm gonna just double confirm here. Yes. All right. So we open up the tool. All right. All right. Open up the tool. Click on fixed range volume profile. We highlight the open of the session from yesterday, right? We click on that and then we drag it to the close of the session, right? And that gives us our value area. All right. Okay. That gives us our value area. So assuming that we're using the same contract, right? The Z contract. Yes, I use 530. Okay. I use 530, although technically I believe the market opens at 520. Or right. Or right. Okay. So assuming that we're using the same contract and we're using the same times, then our ranges should be consistent. Okay. If not, then I'm not sure exactly what could be causing this. Um, yeah, I think that should allow you to be consistent with what I have on the screen. Okay, all right. White sand, does that make sense? All right. While I wait for his response, we'll go ahead and move on. Yeah, so I can't speak on Top Step's behalf because I don't know. I don't have enough of a background. My tool setup. So my value area I define as 68%. I don't know. Maybe that might cause the difference. 68% is more of a bell curve distribution. It's also a Fibonacci, right? So maybe you have it set to 70. Oh, ASR setup. ASR. Oh, it's set to London. Okay. So let's move this to New York. Okay. And let's move to the 30-minute chart. Where is my So let's go ahead. Initial balance is already opened. ASR, we're going to go ahead and open to this. So yeah, I have London session set up here. Well, now it's set to New York. Okay. So I have 2530 and 2553.50. Okay. Okay. Does that answer your question, White Sand? All right. Perfect. Okay. So I don't know. I think did I remove the looks like I may have removed the let's see. So we have 2530.10 and 2553.50. Just updating my spreadsheet here, guys. So top step levels may be a little bit delayed today, guys. It's just a heads up. So that's the benefit of attending the pre-market here. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and add them here again. Okay, so so these are our levels that we're tracking. All right. Okay, so hopefully everything's in order now. Everybody is aligned with what I have described on my screen. Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. All right. So again, my view of this is that maybe we're going to have a continuation move to the downside in this gold market at some point, maybe around 25.40. Okay. All right. Let's okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Let's see if I can locate this in the maze of stuff that I have here. Stretch this out here a little bit. There you are. All right. So looking at the crude oil market. All right. So again, we start every review of instruments with the daily chart. Okay. This is, I'm going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. So we're going to go ahead and look at the daily chart and we're going to ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, if you look at the last couple of candles, last couple of candles, market is trying to move to the downside. Okay. Now we do have a little bit of a buying wick. So I suspect that maybe it might be coming close to this buyer, right? Or these set of buyers, right? So this level here, I would say 73 seems to be an area of support and, could cause price to bounce off of, right? We're obviously well above 73 at the moment, but we do see a little bit of a buying wick. So this feels right now that maybe this is just, we're kind of in this kind of range in this market, right? We on the high end 78, 50 or 50 level, ranging down to 71.33. So this feels like we're just kind of bouncing between these two levels, right? So feels like that maybe we might see a continuation down to 72, but I guess a lot will depend on what kind of inventory we get, report we get later this morning. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and open up the 4-hour chart. We'll start to track some of these levels here. So again, feels like to me, and again, I don't know how many of you are Fibonacci kind of people, but this right here, the way this is set up here, seems like a very clean setup. All right. We've come down to the 61.8% retracement level. And this could very well be a location where we could see a potential, reversal in price back up to the upside, right? And maybe using this other Fibonacci, which is also around this consolidation area, as a stop. Okay. So entry around this price down at, we're above it, right? 74. Okay. And maybe a stop down, this is a pretty hefty stop here. Okay. But again, this is kind of a look from a 4-hour view, right? So if I do a little bit of a forecast, okay, on this, right, then I would measure this swing, pull down to this level, and this would give me an indication of where price can go, right? Based on the 4-hour chart. Based on the 4-hour chart, it's telling us that this swing can lead us back up to 80. all right, in this market, all right. That's kind of right. If we, some may call this a measured move, right? So this is our swing high. We get a pullback, and then if we measure this move from this pullback, that's the target. Okay, that we're looking at but this is a 4-hour chart, right? This is more of a, how you say, multi-day, swing trade, right? But nonetheless, it's important to know what the higher time frame is telling us. All right. All right, let's move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We'll go ahead and remove the Fibonacci for now. Okay, and take a closer look at what the 30-minute chart is telling us. So first order of business for me is to identify the range or volume profile. That gives me my first view on sentiment of this market. I suspect it's down, but we'll confirm. All right. So we'll look here. All right. And we are indeed below value. Okay. Kind of similar to what we were seeing on the gold chart, right? We're below value. We're below a lot of the indicators that we look at. Now we're starting to make a little bit of headway because we are getting above the daily VWAP. All right. Now this could still offer us an area for a continuation move to the downside. The only problem that I have right now is one, the initial balance range has not been established since the market has just opened. Two, we have inventories coming in about an hour and a half. So any position that I hold before that, I would need to be flat for when the inventory report comes out. Okay, so I don't expect a real sustained move in this market until the inventory report comes. Okay. All right. So we got our value area. We have our initial balance. We're going to go ahead and open up our ADR, and then we're going to start to track our levels. Okay. So from an ADR perspective, ADR high, we're looking at 76.81, 76.81 as our average daily range high. Okay. We have volume profile high or value area high coming in at 76.28. Okay. 76.28 is our value area high. Okay. You took a short there, Larry. Oh, my long strategy. Okay, so it did break above the channel there, Larry. Is that what you're saying? Okay, excellent. All right. Let's see. Value area high. Then the next thing that I have on this list is 75.63. 75.63 is our point of control. Okay, point of control is 75.63. And then we have value settlement price coming in at where is it? 75.53. Okay, 75.53 is our point of control. 75.53 is our actually settlement. Sorry, settlement price. Okay. All right, and then we have value area low. All right, value area low coming in at 75.41. Value area low coming in at 75.51. And then we have ADR low. All right, ADR low coming in at 74.71. 74.71 is our average daily range low. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up ASR. We'll double confirm we're still in New York here. So we'll open that up here. So we have 74.17 is our average session range low. 74.17 is our average session range low. All right. And then on the top side, we have 75.66, which is our just below our value area high, 75, 75, 66 as our average session range high. Okay. Now the only other thing that I need to capture here is our 4-hour demand and supply. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So on the demand, on the supply side, I see that we have a little bit of a supply area here. Let's call it 77.35. That's the first number that kind of jumped out at me when I was looking at this. 77.35 as our 4-hour supply. Okay, and then on the demand side, I can see that maybe we have 73.08 is kind of maybe a demand level that I could potentially see in. We'll just call it an even 73. All right, as our 4-hour demand. Okay. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing in this market. So let me go ahead and make sure I got this captured and update the spreadsheet, which I'm a little bit late to supply. So we'll do that, and then we'll make this all in bold. Let them know that these are all new levels. Okay, so what to make of this market? Well, let's go to the 30-minute chart and let's see what we have here. All right, so first thing, this is our first indication, okay, that maybe the market is starting to reverse from its current bearish kind of tone. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the volume delta, if I can find it, and volume delta. All right, see what volume delta is saying. Okay, so price is starting to move higher, and volume is indicating that we do have a fair amount of buyers in this market. Okay. So if we are going to continue this bearish tone, I would not expect that we close or get above 75.42. Okay, if we're going to maintain the bearish tone. Okay, if we are not, then we're going to close back inside value. We're going to get above settlement price, say above 75.71, and that could open up the door to get us back up to ASR high or ADR high. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. I think right now the tone is still bearish, but we're starting to see some indication here, some indication that maybe the market could be turning, could be reversing course here. Okay, that's kind of my early indication, because I've already, as you guys all know by now, I've already gotten evidence here on the channel, right, that we could potentially be seeing some pricing that could hit higher. I could see this easily get up to the settlement price, which is about 40 ticks away. All right, before we see maybe any sort of continuation move to the downside. All right. Okay. Just kind of seeing and peeking to see if I have any questions on the crude oil market before I move on. Yeah, it's probably not. It's probably no longer narrow IB. All right, so you're going to have to use other strategies, Reading Tiger. So yeah. We don't always get what we don't always get the market we want. We need the market that we have, right? So. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the equity markets, because the equity is about 15 minutes or so away from opening, and I do want to give some visibility to those folks who do the opening range trade to see what kind of sentiment we have in play here. So we see a fair amount of selling currently going on. Let's turn off some of these levels. Very busy chart right now. So let's turn some of these levels off. Okay, starting to look a little bit better. These are some extensions I think I've drawn as a result of value. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the daily chart and get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish. Now, we've had a swing higher. Swing higher. We broke some levels. We had a very strong bearish bar, but we've kind of it feels more like maybe this may just be, well, two things could have obviously, but this still feels like it's still just relatively just a pullback from this current swing, right? We are above, I believe this is the 169. No, it's a 20. Okay, this is the 20 EMA. We're above that, and then we also are above this anchor VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw an anchor VWAP below here, right? So as long as price can stay above that price, above anchor VWAP, then my feeling is that the market has the potential of heading higher here based on the daily chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour. All right, 4-hour, we've been kind of in this range, right? We've been in this range, although developing a little bit of structure, I would say, to the downside, right? We have a push down, a pullback, another push down, a pullback. Is this another push down, right? If it's going to follow this sequence, that seems to be kind of the natural, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we get a push down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, it looks like we're either overdue or in line for maybe another push lower in this market. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, so we start to capture our levels here. We're going to go ahead and start with our fixed range volume profile. You can see here volume delta is indicating a fair amount of selling going on right now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. Let's see if I can find it. All right, here it is. All right, we're going to go ahead and locate the 930 bar, drag that across to the 430 bar, and here's our value. Okay, right now we're still technically inside value, so there's a feeling that we are fairly priced at this moment in time, but we're about 15 minutes away from the market open, so this could actually change. So this will, depending on if we break and close either above or below. Right now, it feels like it's going to be below at some point, right? I feel like we are going to maybe revisit some of these prices below us before we make any sort of a significant headway back to the upside, right? So really the natural level that I see right now is 19,000, let's say 575 is kind of the level that I'm seeing that we're kind of potentially going to reach. And then there's always the outside possibility that we head further, maybe down to 19,525. Okay. Right now, there's really nothing to do. We're inside value. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start to capture our levels here, guys. So first order of business is to begin to capture what ADR high is. All right. For ADR high is coming in at 19,788.25. Okay. That's our average daily range high. Okay. All right. The next item that I see is our value area high. That's coming in at 19,684.25. That's our value area high. Okay. All right. And then we have our settlement price coming in at 19,653.75 is our settlement price. All right. And then we have we have point of control coming in at and we actually, it looks like we're kind of reacting away from both point of control and settlement here at 19,643. 19,643 is in that range. Point of control, all right, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Value area low coming in at 19,603. 19,603 is our value area low. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and add our average daily range low. Here is coming in at, let's call it 19,000. I'm going to just say 19,483. Okay. Is our average daily range low. Okay. Really, the only thing that remains, and this is still probably not going to be 100% accurate, guys, is the fact that we still have our average session range. All right, average session range. This may adjust a little bit with the open. All right, but I think it's going to be relatively close. So we have our average session range here above us here at 19,799.75. Okay, that's our average. That's our average session range high. Okay. And then we have our average session range low at 19,493 as our average session range low. Okay. And then the only thing that I have is to add to this here is 4-hour supply and 4-hour demand. Okay. So let's again turn some of this stuff off here. Difficult to see everything with all these levels. So so I would say demand or supply probably up at the 19,782. Okay, is our 4-hour supply. Okay, that's the last kind of really strong 19,782. 782. Okay, is kind of our 4-hour supply. Our supply. Okay, and then what else? Demand. Well, we see a little bit of demand taking place here. I'm not really impressed by it. So really it's kind of down here, but I'm gonna say let's make demand 19,430. I see some evidence of rejection around this 19,430. So we'll go ahead here and make 19,430 as our 4-hour demand. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing as far as levels. Okay, for NASDAQ. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and update my spreadsheet with this information. Okay, and let everybody know that these for me is all updates. Okay. All right. And then last market, we're going to take a look, actually a couple markets, but I'd like to get to the ES before the start of the session here. So let's find it here. I have a lot of. All right. So here we are. This is the start of the ES session. Quickly, we're going to take a look at the daily. We're going to go ahead and turn off some of our levels here and ask ourselves our question is, what is the market trying to accomplish? Right now, it's a little bit of indecision here, right? We have a lot of overlapping candles. This kind of market right now, I'm sure for those who are trading it are finding it quite difficult, right? Because we're not getting any definitive move in any one direction. You're welcome, Frizu. We're not getting any sort of definitive move in any one direction. The moment we think the market's going to fail, we get a rally, right? Now, right now, we're still inside this this candle here. So if I had to guess, maybe there is still some room to the upside in this market based on what I'm seeing. Okay. So these are old levels. All right. So, but in any case, daily looks like it's in range, but has the potential of headed higher because we have not made a new low in the last 3 candles. Okay. All right. And the most recent new has been on the bullish side. Okay. All right. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, similar kind of feel. Right now, we seem to be in this kind of range. The last dominant candle that we're seeing here has been on the bearish side. The last dominant candles have been to the bearish side. Okay. These are both kind of news driven events, one on Thursday, another one on Monday. All right. Have been to the bearish side. All right. So any opportunity, I guess some of the big participants, the news hasn't been favorable for continuation. So kind of feels a little bit heavy at this point on the 4-hour chart. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart, again, I'm going to keep these levels close by so I don't have to modify these all that much. And the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to stretch this out here a little bit. Okay. And locate my I'm going to locate my fixed range volume profile. Okay. Fixed range volume profile. Let's see. Right about here. And drag this over to this. Okay. So fixed range volume profile, similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ. We are inside value. Really nothing for me to do when we're inside value, honestly, guys, unless this value range is relatively wide and I can fade each edge. Right now, we probably need to remain patient on this market. I'm going to go ahead and update some of these levels. So we have average daily range high coming in at 56.71. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and update that. Okay, 56.71, 56.71. Okay. All right. And then average session range low, 56.17. So 56 average daily range low, 56.17. So I'll go ahead and update that. All right. And then value area high is coming in at 56.48.75, 56.48.75, 56.48.75 is our value range high. And point of control is coming in at 56.45.50, 56.45.50, 56.45.50. All right. Settlement is coming in at 56.44.75, 56. We'll change that. 56.44.75 is our settlement price. Value area low is coming in at 56.33. So I'll modify that. 56.33. 56.33 is our value area range low. Okay. And then the only thing that remains here is our average session range. Okay, so we have our average session range, which looks like it's already responding off of. Let's double confirm this. It's pulling off of New York. Okay, so we have our average session range. We have 56.54 on the high end, 56.54.75. 56.54.75. Average session range high. Average session range low is coming in at 55.92. 55.92. Okay. 55.92. All right. So these are our levels, guys. So right now, really just similar kind of feedback I had for the NASDAQ. Right now, I'm going to have to wait for the market to open here, figure out what direction of value is the market going to go. If it remains in value, then I need to look for range strategies to support this market. If we do get price to close below value and below, say, initial balance low, then maybe we see a sell-off, right? We're starting to see a little bit of selling. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my volume delta here. I suspect that based on what I'm seeing on the bars that we're getting a little bit of, you see, we're seeing a little bit of sell volume, okay, coming into this market here, okay? So if we do break below, say, 56.33.25, that could open the doors for us to come back to average daily range low before we see any sort of significant reversal in price, all right? All right. I think that's what I have. Well, actually, you know what? Let's take a quick peek at the supply zones for this market here. So I'm going to say 56.50.25 is our 56.50. 56.50.25 is our 56.50.25 is our supply zone on the high end. I'm seeing some rejection coming in here at 56.11. So maybe I'm just going to say 56.10 maybe is kind of our 4-hour demand. 56.10 seems to be a 4-hour demand level. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and copy these levels. Okay, let's see. update the spreadsheet. So with our levels here, okay. $5.92. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think go back to the 30-minute chart here, guys, to take a peek to see if there's anything hypo-wise that I can add here. I'm not seeing anything at the moment to really actively participate in. Okay. Right now we're in range, so I'm going to be sitting on my hands. I'm going to wait. Okay, well, there's the open of the session here. I'm going to wait for this initial balance range to establish before I take on any opportunities in this market. Okay. Check settlement. Settlement is 56. Oh, 56.44. You're right. 56.44. Thank you. Thank you, Alejandro. It is 56.44. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna need to make that change in my spreadsheet as well. 56.44 is settlement. Okay. All right. So guys, that's kind of what I'm seeing in the markets, guys. So I'm going to kind of wait for this initial balance range to establish. In a yes, we'll go ahead and close this off with a quick review of the Dow, and then we'll let you guys to your business here. So we'll take a quick peek at the Dow. I suspect it's probably going to be very similar to what we've been seeing with the other markets, but nonetheless, we'll take a peek here. All right, we'll turn off some of these levels. We'll take a look at the daily, get a feel of what the daily is trying to do. Well, daily is, I would say the Dow is probably appears to me a bit stronger to me, right? Less in the way of overlapping price, and structure seems to, support further upside in this market. But we are coming into an area where we could see sellers stepping in. Okay. But the structure remains to the upside. Okay. If I look toward the 4-hour chart, okay, 4-hour chart, I'm going to go ahead and turn off initial balance. I'm going to stretch this out here a little bit. You can see that we are making higher highs and higher lows. We broke some structure here to the upside. Right now we're grinding, having some difficulty getting above 456, but it does feel like maybe that there might be some push here, maybe to the downside if we do break below 41,222. All right, looking at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and stretch this out here a little bit. Okay, stretch this out, make it a little bit more visible. We're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range. We have a relatively wide initial balance developing in the Dow. So let's take a look here, and we're just going to add a few levels. We're going to go ahead and add our volume profile. That's an important level for me. So in any market, I need to understand where value is from yesterday. All right. So here we are, drag that across to the 430 bar. So there's value. We, just like we have in the other markets, price is inside value, right? So really nothing to do at this point other than to wait to see what the initial balance range provides. I have ADR above and below, right? We're right in the middle. And then our average session range also coming in. Where is our average session range? I don't see it. ADR levels. I do that twice. Okay. Average session range is, let's turn one of these off. Okay. Yeah. So we have average session range pretty much in line with what we're seeing as far as average daily range. So we'll just capture a couple of these levels, guys. So we have ADR high here coming in at what is this? Coming in at 41,520. 41,520 is our ADR high. Our ASR high is 41. 491. Okay, our ADR low is coming in at what is that? 41. Let's see, 41,209. 41,209 is our average daily range low. Our average session range low is 41,156. Value area high coming in at 41,349. 41,349. Okay, our value area low is coming in at let's see, 41,274. 274. Okay. Point of control is 41,330. So somewhere in between. Point of control is 41. Point of control 41,330. 41,330. Okay. All right. Settlement 41,356. Settlement is 41,356. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So again, for me, guys, we're starting to, experiment, maybe explore the possibility of price breaking the lows here. Okay. We have a relatively wide initial balance range that's being established. But I do, this is a little bit busy for me, guys. So I'm going to turn off some of these ADR levels at the moment since we are in the middle. Okay. We are seeing that maybe price could extend to the downside, and these ASR levels could offer us an area for price to potentially bounce here. Okay. So right now I'm going to wait for this initial balance range to establish before I make any sort of indication. It feels like price wants to head lower. Okay. In this market. All right. That's kind of my initial gut feeling here. But I do need to see price close below value before that view is kind of I guess somewhat confirmed. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting on my hands. If we're going to be sitting inside value, I don't want any part of it. All right. I'm going to wait for price to close below value before I entertain anything along those lines. Bearish side. Okay. All right. I think that's it for me, guys. If there's any questions, I'm happy to entertain them. I apologize. We went 6 minutes over. Unfortunately, did not have my levels established. I guess I had overlooked that before I headed to bed. I was, I guess, too tired to establish my levels, do my pre-market kind of analysis before our session. But you got the benefit of how I look at these markets live. Okay. Yeah, so if there's no questions, guys, I would say that crude oil traders, they need to hang tight until inventories. That's going to happen here in about an hour. All right. Otherwise, all the others, traders, gold traders, even in the equity markets, I think it's free season right now. I think equity is looking lower. I would say is the path of least resistance. Especially what I'm seeing on the Dow side. It seems like price wants to head lower here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close the market, close the session with a trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right. Thanks again, guys, for your support. Continue to hit the likes and the subscribes. Comment if that particular session particularly benefited you in any sort of way. Again, all these likes and subscribes and comments are the kind of the lifeblood for content providers. So yeah, don't hesitate to hit those likes, hit those subscribes. They're all very much appreciated. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I'll be moving into the coach's room on Top Step. Yes, you too. Have a good day and trade well. And until maybe group coaching, may not see some of you. I'll see some of you in group coaching later this afternoon. All right, at 6 p.m. Central Time. All right, guys. Have an excellent day, and we'll talk soon.